Hello, everybody. It's me. I just thought I would go on the topic of um the lies that people think that Americans, have money. Um, you hear it all the time. Because you're an American, they think that we live in, these awesome homes. No one's homeless. We're not going hungry. We can get jobs anywhere. Anybody can have a job and life won't be as tough like if they try to migrate over here for them. I understand in some countries things are hard, but here in the US too, believe it or not, in different ways. In the US, we have to worry about our income take because living expenses is very high in the US. We don't pay yearly. We pay every month. And like in New York State, it's very expensive. I mean, you go to New York City, it's more expensive than living in upstate New York. And upstate New York is still expensive compared to, other places, but it's still expensive there too. I mean, for rent, you can have rent that's about 800 to 850 just for one bedroom, one living room, kitchen, and bathroom. You're paying that much, but it's not yearly, it's once a month. You have to have that money. If you don't have that money, they can evict you, give you a 30-day notice, kick you out, after the 30-day notice goes into effect. I mean, you can fight them, but eventually, if you can't pay up, you're not going to win, regardless. Um, and like when we get paid for our jobs, some people get paid weekly, but some of us only get paid every 2 weeks. And I'm gonna give a figure. Like if we bring home $2,000 every 2 weeks, we don't get that whole 2,000 something dollars. Out of $2,000, they might take like 400 or maybe even 500 away from you. Because the more you earn, the more they take. And that's for taxes. So you don't get your whole check. Half of it goes to taxes. So you're really coming home with 1,900 or 1,800, and that's only two every 2 weeks. So I mean, living expenses is high. You think in one check, almost half of your check goes into a rent already. Um, and then car insurance. You have to have car insurance, and then if you financed car, you have to pay the finance on top of the car insurance. So some people are paying $500-600 a month just for finances, car insurance, and all that. Maybe it could be more depending on how much you're paying in car insurance. Some people have full coverage, could be over $300 to your basic coverage could be up to 100 and some, maybe two. Who knows? Depending on what kind of car, what kind of vehicle, it all depends. And you have to pay that on top of if you financed your car. That's a lot of money. That's a lot of money in itself. And people think that, I hear all the time, oh, there's no homeless people in US. Ah, yes, there are. You, there are multiple homeless people. Oh, especially in California. They're all over the place. It could be, believe it or not, in Rome, New York, where I live, you see people homeless too. Some people just have a tent, they lay it out, they walk around with a cart with their clothes and whatever they have with them, and that's their stuff. And sometimes they lay in a blanket on the grass. Um, some of them might have tents and things like that to cover up with, or to have as a little shelter. But there's homeless people everywhere here. Um, it's really sad. Some of it could be because maybe they're drugged up, they do drugs, drinking, gambling too much, and they have no place to stay. And also, some of them that are homeless, some of them do work. And sadly, it's because there's like an income bracket where you fall under for help, like um like social services, and those are people that are willing to help you to pay your rent and stuff like that, but you have to fall into a certain bracket. And if you're above that bracket, they can't help you. So you're stuck. So what do you do? Some people, I've known some people to make their vehicle their vehicle into their home, or they turn their van and they build it up and they make it into like a on wheels home, you know? And some people live in an RV. All you have to do is, pay for your insurance on that, because it has wheels. I think they still categorize it as some sort of vehicle or some sort of something, but you still have to pay for it to have it on the road. And that's all you would have to pay. And you don't have to pay like a nice 800. Some people have to pay 1,000, 2,000, could be more. And then like if you want to go see a doctor, health insurance, and just healthcare. Healthcare itself is expensive, outrageous. Outrageous. Why do you think a lot of some Americans go to foreign countries for the same care, but for cheaper? Because other countries don't have outrageous healthcare. I mean, just for a visit, just for sitting in an ER room, could be $500. And you haven't even been seen to yet. That's crazy. And just for like the machines, like x-rays and all that, that costs money. All of it costs money. And then they add it up, and you have time to pay your bill. At least in some countries, they want the money right up. Some they don't. They might say, okay, I'll give you some time to pay it. But our stuff, and even going to school, you want to go to college? College fees are expensive, very expensive. I mean, I got my bachelor's, I got my master's, bachelor's in psychology, I got my master's in mental health and wellness, and with 8 years, I think altogether I did 7 or 8 years of college, and $90,000 I have to pay. 90,000. That puts us in debt. That's crazy. Ah, so much. And just to get gas. Gas is not $1 or something like that anymore. In the US, you lucky you get gas for like 3, $4 a gallon, depending on what station you go to. It varies. So just to fill my whole gas tank up, it cost over $50 when I did have my vehicle. It's expensive living in the USA. But the only good thing about it is that when you have a job, they do pay you. They have no choice to pay you because if they don't pay you, they could get closed down and they won't be a company anymore because that's against the laws of working. You know, yeah, that won't be good for the company because they won't have any more employees. They won't be employing anyone, and their company will not be open if they did not pay their employees. Um, so that is one good thing. At least you know you are getting paid. But it is like, can you afford the expenses of living? It is very expensive. Um, I mean, some people even roommate with other people just to be able to afford living expenses. They have roommates and they roommate together. Sometimes there's two roommates, three, maybe four, and just sharing the bills and splitting everything up so they all can live and they can afford expenses that they need to live. A lot of people do that, believe it or not. Because if not, I don't think they'd be able to make it. But it is so when you guys think about the US, just be wise in what you're saying because if we're not working, we're as homeless as the homeless person in the street. So we have to work. We have no choice. Some people have SSI, the government supports them, things like that. But like I said, you have to be under a certain bracket, like of income. If you are below the income, they'll help you out. Hands up. But if you're in the middle, they might help you out a little, depending on how much, your earnings. And they make sure they ask you every couple of months to show your stubs, your pay stubs, so they can keep helping you. But then when you go above it, they can't help you no more. So you're stuck. You better have that income coming in because if not, I don't know. Some people work 2 jobs. Some people even work 3 jobs just to make it, and some people still don't make it. Some people are struggling. They're struggling real hard, especially when it's only one person doing it by themselves. It's very difficult. So when you think, that Americans have it easy, no, we have it just as tough as anybody else, but just in different ways. Living expenses, all sorts of things like that is very expensive. You go to another country, you get it cheaper. Believe it or not, when I heard that um like in places in Africa you only pay yearly for rent, I was like, "What? No way." I wish that was me. I never would have to worry in my life. And gas only $1 something? I wish that was possible here. It's not that. It's like a little over 300, almost 400. I mean, sorry, just for gas. Um, it's about, I would say it's about a little over $3 something. It could go up to $4, I think, just for like um a gallon. But to fill your whole gas tank, I guess it depends on how big your vehicle and how much gas your vehicle takes. Some vehicles take um like $80 in gas. Some, like mine, when it was, running effectively, um it took about, just to fill the gas tank, about $50. Yeah. And if you have an animal costs money, and I don't know, it's a lot of money. Expenses are very expensive. And food has went up too in a lot of areas. So, I mean, living is not cheap. But if you work hard, I mean, you have to work, and you have to work hard to at least bring in a decent income. But there you are burning yourself out also. It's not healthy. It's not bad to work because it's good to work. But at the same time, you can't burn yourself out either. I think that's where I'm going wrong, because I think I'm probably gonna have a little time out here soon. Maybe take like a little vacation or something. Definitely. Um, but when you think that we have it made, we're just like you. We struggle. That's how come most like places in the US, it's easier when there are two people bringing in an income into the house, and you be okay. But when you're only one person, sometimes you have to have two jobs, three jobs. Sometimes it depends on uh, the the wage that you have also, because there's minimum wage. There's Because in New York State, I think minimum wage is about $15 an hour. But other jobs that are more, they mostly want people with a high school diploma, um, a GED, or they want higher education, like a bachelor's, a master's, associates of a certain kind. Um, them are the jobs that you can probably get for like, some of it's like $18, $19 an hour, could be up to 20, 21, 22 to 26. But if you get the more higher, like some of them pay $36 an hour. It depends on what kind of, work that you have, and how much wage they're willing to pay you. It depends. So it's that's not easy. But then also in the US, there's other things we have to deal with. We have to worry about a lot of people just coming out of nowhere. Like we have an issue with gun violence. We do. The US is known for their gun violence. That means there's a lot of gangsters um that do a lot of shootouts with each other, and innocent people get targeted in the outcome of it. sometimes. Um, and then there's just people that their mind ain't right upstairs, and they just go into a Walmart and start shooting everybody up, or try to go into a school and shoot everybody up. Children, adults, they don't care. Their mind isn't right. Sometimes there could be a it's you never know. You never know what can happen. Day after day you don't know. Um there is racism here in the US. I mean, in the South, segregation was very big in the 60s, 50s, back further. And I think it was like mostly in the 60s when they started to um, try to stop the segregation from the North to the South. And to this day, there are an older generation that still has that racial um, thinking. So that's a lot to really deal with too, especially when it comes to families that aren't white, maybe like Hispanic families, like mine. You look at me, I look white. It's because my mom's white. My dad is most Hispanics have white in them. They just don't want to admit that. My father's at least 50% white in him too, but then the rest of him is non-white. And you can see that in him. But when you see families like mine, some of us are lighter like me, and then some of us are more like light brown, more of a tan color, darker brown. When you see like a family like ours like that, people don't phase upon it. They don't like it. And when they see mixed couples together, they will stare at you and they will talk. They would just stare and talk because they don't understand why someone would want to be with someone that is like that. Which, why not? When two people love each other, it should be acceptable. It should be, you know, a happy thing, especially when two people love each other. Shouldn't matter. But that's just their thinking, especially the older generation. Um, and then with the immigration stuff going on, there's a lot of ICE picking up a lot of people that overstayed their visa, um, illegals that came into the country illegally, um, things like that. They're picking them up and then putting them in detention centers and deporting them back to their countries. Sadly, some of them really work hard. Um, so when you think about the US, just remember we're just like anyone else. We suffer, we struggle, but just in a different way. We struggle, and it's not easy. So when you think that Americans have it easy, we do not. We have it we have it hard too, but just in, like I said, in different ways. I just thought I would make this video so to make you aware that what you think isn't accurate, and it's not the truth. And the truth is, we struggle just like anybody else. We have we have it hard too. So if you or anybody from another country decides to want to come to the US, just remember those things that I told you. And you won't be surprised because you'll know it's fact when you start to um, work and you start to know people. You'll see. And so, a lot of Americans can be very rude, very, very rude. Not all, but a lot can. So just remember that. But some could be very loving too. Just like anywhere, I guess, because you find your beautiful people and you find your people that aren't so beautiful. Well, I hope you got a lot out of this video. I just thought this was a topic that should be put out there, especially for those that do come from other countries that are ever thinking about coming to the US. These are just things to really be aware of and just to watch out for. And that we do not have it easy. We do not have it easy at all. So just remember that, okay? If you got anything out of this video, I hope it helped you realize that we all struggle, no matter what country you come from or we all come from. We all struggle in different ways. Yeah. Life is hard. Like I mentioned in some of my videos before, life can be difficult, but it's how you just keep going, keep moving, trying to find ways just to make it. Thank you for watching my video and bye for now. And maybe you'll see me in my next video. Yay! Adios, adios, bye. Bye for now.